a no racial song, you are just reality. Me speaking from my heart, no without partiality. The system don't press the people with them authority. It's only one set of people that face poverty. Tell them well who win at the kitchen is them affiliate. So long Babylon system, them take the chain now for we feed them have a plan with them divide. Feel it can't get defeat. Everything them do, Jaja don't see. Black is the opposite of white. The absorption of light. Full time we must unite. Real African Kushite. Anyway, so the man a rebel with a cause on a rebel. Real revolution is man a born out the devil. Man come to motivate and edify all my people. Come Babylon system them now level. I tell them open up them eyes. Black man, this time you gotta be wise. Black man, be careful of wolf in a disguise. Black man, anyway, tell them you can be foolish in a this your time. Open up your eyes. Black man, this time you gotta be wise. Black man, be careful of wolf in a disguise. Black man, anyway, tell them you can be stupid in a this your time. Oh, for the information about our history. So many lies, Babylon, them a try to trick we. Them thief we scored, yo, what a mystery. Like Babylon feel we forget about slavery, yeah. So many ancestors have been brought on ships. Chains and shackles and so much licks. For centuries them keep preaching the same old lyrics. New tactics but the same bullshit. This time you open up your eyes. Black man, this time you gotta be wise. Black man, be careful of wolf in a disguise. Black man, anyway, tell them you can be foolish in a this your time. Open up your eyes. Black man, this time you gotta be wise. Black man, be careful of wolf in a disguise. Black man, anyway, tell them you can be stupid in a this your time. Martin Luther King, black man. Malcolm X, he was a black man. Haile Selassie, black man. Marcus Garvey, he was a black man. Nelson Mandela, black man. Barack Obama, black man. Kwame Ture, a black man. So this is why yo I sing my black song. I said to set my people free. Set my people free. Set my people free. Set my people.
Yo.
Greetings, world.
Greetings, world. OUR Radio family. We live. We live. Black to Black, episode 6. We are here with our Baba. The Baba himself.
Yeah.
Right? We are here today to discuss African spirituality. Something I know all are afraid. Right? No, we ain't afraid it, so we bringing it, right? So before we start, and before Baba introduces himself, we will allow him to bless us.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
In the name of Olodumare,
Sure.
I pray that our Ori guide us today.
Sure.
I pray that Baba Yeshu open all the doors to
Sure.
positive elevation and upliftment of our people.
Sure.
I pray that Baba will go and clear the path.
Sure.
All the Orishas walk with us.
Sure.
I pray that our ancestors and our Egbe lift us and elevate us
Sure.
as we reach our people to elevate them.
Sure.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Sure.
Ashe.
Yeah, man. So welcome, Baba.
Greetings, King.
So my name is Ishuale Ishutunde. But my given name for my mother is Sean Ned.
All right. You know, we had to get him that.
Yeah.
We had to get him the English version. So go ahead. You know, is a topic that we, in past iterations of the show, we always plan it and it never happened.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, every day say nothing has happened before a time. So we here today with you. Right? And we're proud and happy to probably be one of the first to do it in mainstream radio. So, yeah, Orisha Lashe, I know you have some things you want to talk about.
Yeah, man.
So let me go.
But I want, Baba to go a little further on who he is and what he does do, the organization he represents.
Right.
You know?
Well,
Come on, Lucas.
our ELA is actually new in this fraternity of the tradition. We are 2 years old,
Right.
but our destinies are not 2 years old. I've been on this journey. I've been on a journey of a quest all my life, basically.
Right.
But in our Orisha tradition, I'm fairly new, but I'm not a fool. As they would say.
All right.
I've been schooled in life. I've been schooled in numerous aspects of spirituality before I actually found my path, my way, my walk into my tradition. So in terms of the tradition and the traditional aspects of things, I'm still young in learning in this lifetime.
Right.
But I still have a lot to offer our people
Sure.
because I've been trying and on the journey of uplifting our people all my life.
All right.
So you can ask.
Well, boy, I have some questions to ask.
Ask and it shall be revealed unto you.
One of the first things I want to ask, I myself, I've been around African spirituality for a little while, but only into Orisha about 4 years. Right? And one of the things I have noticed on some levels is there seems to be no unity. No one voice. We ain't going to sing with one voice, but most of we could say the same things. Right? We're hearing this one telling you don't do that one and don't go by this one, and a simple thing as supporting each other's festival and feast.
Yeah.
It seemed to have a real big disconnect when it comes to that. Now, I want to ask you, what is your experience with that? Actually, where you are, because you actually have an organization that would hold feast and festival. What's your thoughts on it, and anything you think you could do or suggest to improve the relations between Orisha people and Orisha organizations?
Well, one of the things is I've heard these things, right? I've not really experienced much of that at all.
Right.
But from observation, I've seen some of it.
Right.
And let me take it this way. If you ask someone, what is the highest level of spirituality? Right? Most people can't answer, but I would answer. It's the ability to control your own emotions. Right? One of the factors I've seen is everybody venting on one another because nobody could control the emotions. Everybody venting. You is a fool, you don't know. And you respond to that. What about if you stop and listen? Maybe I'm a fool in some ways. Why does this offend me? We've been westernized so much to think that we are individuals or to think individually all the time and not communal. You know, the old folks used to say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yep.
But let's look at that for a little bit. What do I mean by that? What actually do they mean by that? I can remember, just the other day I was telling someone, my cousins used to come down the road. My aunt used to send them down the road, and they would come to my mother and say, "Mommy send me for licks." and my mother beating them like if she see them do something. You understand what I'm telling you? My mother beating them like if she see what they was doing.
Wait.
They just come and say, "Mommy send me for licks," and they leaving. we grow on Enterprise Street on one end, and they grow on the other end of Enterprise Street, cross the main road into Jackson Street, and they would walk that. That's a good half-hour walk.
To know you're going to get licks
And
back.
they would walk that and come and say, "Mommy, send me for licks."
For licks.
Right? And they're getting licks. Like if she see them. Right? Now, let me explain something about African spirituality. Because spirituality in itself is just it's a side effect. It's a side effect of self-awareness, of being impeccable. How much of yourself do you know?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
You know, so I asked the question, who are you? I didn't ask what's your name, because you was here before you got a name. So it's not the name,
Right.
right? Some people say you have a soul. For you to have a soul, it's not the soul because you have one. For you to have a spirit, it's not the spirit because you have one. You have a body. But who are you? And these are the questions we need to ask, really. And when we start to ask these questions, then we understand why all the little petty fights. Because most people don't even know themselves. They identify with things and the emotions. This man says something about me and I respond to that. How about not responding and investigate it, evaluate yourself? You know, my teacher in the dojo, he used to say, the man who pelled the first stone lose the fight. But the man who pelled the first blow lose the fight.
Yeah, to explain that.
So, me and you end up in an argument over something, for whatever reason. And I hit you.
Right.
Or let me say, you hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And I beat you up. And then next week you meet me in the corner. And you see me again and challenge me and I beat you up. And then the following week, I come on the road with my family. Or you coming on the road with your family.
Mm.
And you see me again and I beat you up in front of your family. And then I see you 2 days later and then everybody say, hey, look at that man, look how we change. Anyway, I see me fighting. Your character start to change because of a decision you make. Because you didn't take time to stop and think and evaluate you.
Right.
So now you're responding to something, everybody looking at you as this big gangster or this person who basically lost himself in scenarios.
Right.
And we keep losing ourselves in scenarios all the time. Even people who supposed to be ahead of the tradition. You can go on Facebook and see the amount of venting it have. Who don't like this one, who don't like that one. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Son?
Yeah, problems.
That is self-introspection. That ain't have nothing to do with the next man. That has to do with you and your character. And this whole tradition is based on character. Iwa Pele.
All right.
Right? Good and noble character. We just talk the talk, but walking the walk is our next thing.
All right.
And you don't have nothing you could do or I could do to stop that infighting.
That's a human thing.
That's an individual thing. It's not a human thing, it's an individual thing.
All right.
A man had to be working on himself. All right, so you and the neighbor fall out for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And a long time you couldn't pass the neighbor street because your mother would bust your tail.
Correct is right.
So why it is we doing it now? Why it is we being leaders and elders and so on and still doing that? then we'll be teaching,
Wow. True.
right? But that is just a matter of self. That is not a matter of me and you. That is a matter of me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do have to respond to you, or you do have to respond to me,
Correct.
right? But if we share something in common, why we don't find that commonness in it?
Hmm.
You see, in this tradition, not like the Western society where it teaches everybody to be an individual and everybody goes by a name, right? This is my name and I identify to the name. But your name is not the totality of you. Your character is the totality of you. Because everybody who could call your name could find something different to say about you. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's not the name. But your name's supposed to carry a vibration. You know, we talk spirituality and we miss a lot of the teachings, because even a lot of the teachings from the Bible is from our African spirituality. But it is written in such a way that most of the people can identify it. Because before the Bible was English, it was Latin, it was German, it was Greek, it was Hebrew. It came from the ancient African codes. It came from the Puhemeru, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It came from the Sumerian tablets. It came from, some of the teachings came from the Vedas. But who trying to dig so deep to find this thing? We just take everything as face value and it mean this and it mean that. But really and truly, everything is deeper. Everything that is written, everything that is said is deeper. But for you to get it deeper, you have to go deeper. You have to go deeper within yourself.
Right.
To find that greater understanding or that greater awareness of anything that you're exposed to. And if we practice doing that, and we practice to quiet the emotions, I'll give you an example of something. A man walk into your space and say, he's a fool. And he starts an argument with you for some little petty thing.
Right.
And you start back to argue with him. Two other become bitter. 2 weeks later, you walk in a room and for some interview or for something, and this is the man you have to meet. You just become bitter with.
Yeah.
Right? But if you practice quieting yourself every time a scenario move your emotion negatively, you will start to see. And I mean with your eyes alone. You will start to see with your ears, you will start to see with your feelings, right? You will start to see. And before you know it, that same man will start to tell you, boy, me and my wife fall out this morning and, you know, I really approach you wrong, right? But you didn't wait, you didn't give he time. I had an experience a few years ago as on a job. And this young man, he was doing a very good job. He was managing a building. I was managing a building on behalf of a company who was working for HDC. A group of buildings, as a matter of fact. And this young man working for a contractor, and he doing a very good job. And one morning I reached and he said, I met him at 6 in the morning, he crying. So I approached him. I said, what's wrong? He said, I find out last night, wife being unfaithful and my child mightn't be mine and this type of thing. And he crying. So, you know, and I talked to him and so on, and I console him. About 2 weeks after I made a decision on the job, because he did a piece of work that wasn't up to par. And he got real upset and he said, of course, and carry on. And I responded to him in that energy. After a while, he come and he apologized. But then it happened again. And I responded to him in that energy. So we had some bitterness going on. And eventually, it started to shift my character when I started to deal with him. And one day, well, in our tradition, we say Oya, the energy of the wind, the spirit of the wind. But it's the consciousness, because everything is conscious. Everything has what you call a Ori, right? A consciousness, a awareness of itself.
Yeah.
And in our tradition, we say Mama Oya is the consciousness of the wind. And it brings change. She brings change into your life. And one day I'm driving and she started talking to me in my head. And she said, look at you. I send somebody for to help and you just make a bad situation worse. When you're supposed to quiet yourself and listen and help, you responded. And that's what most of us just do. We respond to things rather than we quiet and try to listen. Because if you quiet yourself, you'll pick it up. It'll come to you, right? Intuition, it will come to you. But if every time somebody moves your emotion, you move and you fight up in yourself, you lose. You lose the ability to see the bigger thing, to see the bigger picture.
I taken that. Jano. I need a little bit in my life right now. Yeah. Because we tend to get overwhelmed easily. As this Valdez said here, you know, it's real talk, but it's easier said than done. Plenty times. Because in the moment, you know, you tend to turn to your human side first. But it's practice.
It's always practice.
Yeah. It's practice.
So you're seeing people in the tradition who supposed to be elders, but they ain't practicing.
Mm.
You know all the Oriki, you know all the Pataki. They could tell you everything about every Orisha or a whole lot of things about the tradition. All the Udus, what you should do there, what you should do next.
Mm. So they had the education, but they ain't practicing.
Well, they're practicing that. But they're practicing mastery of self.
Right.
And that's what it really is. Right? Because Orisha ain't nowhere else but in you know. I mean, it exists in the universe, it exists. Right? But it's within you. When we say Orisha, you know, some schools say Ori is your consciousness, your awareness.
Right.
Your awareness of self. And Sha means to select. So you select different consciousness from time to time. Let me give you an example of something. You're sick home and you run to the pharmacy and you get some stuff and your liver gain you some problem and it stop the liver problem but your kidney damage. You take something else for your kidney and when you take that, your heart had a palpitate and there are some problems there too.
Side effect, yeah.
Once it's a side effect. But if you're in tune with yourself, right, and you're in tune with your environment, you could walk out in your yard and pick a plant or two and heal yourself.
Right.
Because what you don't know, or what a lot of people don't know, is just as your name carry a vibration, somebody says, George, you are looking wrong because you are named George. But from the time they call you by your name, you turn around. Your home will carry a vibration.
Right.
And your yard will carry a vibration. And as your vibration get big enough, your village will start to carry a vibration. But who does tell the birds how to build the nest? And who does tell the dog which plant to eat when he's sick? They in tune.
Yeah.
They're in tune with the self and the environment. They're in tune with nature.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be in tune. The Western society have given us these blinders and we run into the pharmacy all the time.
Yeah.
But the birds just come and drop the herbs that you need in your own yard and you don't even know.
You know,
Because they're in tune.
that fella, he tell me that. Dr. Organic.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know Dr. Organic.
Of course. All our ladies seem so cool.
Unfortunately, I don't know who's that.
Brother named Reggie Orisha, brother.
Reggie, yeah.
Yeah, just can recall he.
Orisha name, man.
Yeah. But Because the birds in tune with their environment. And if they fly into your space where your frequency resonates, then they know exactly what you need there. So they would come and drop it. They feel nature, they feel the earth don't know itself. Anything of the earth belongs to the earth. We belong to the earth. Look at we.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, I'm thinking I kind of way here now because, boy, I have some plants growing in my yard day that even Maria's father tell me it has certain things that growing in my yard that not hard to get.
Yeah.
But the fact that today is for me.
Of course.
So I say, well, all right. So I looking at that now. I starting to go managing some things.
Everybody telling you this
I ain't
go
afraid
poison
that.
you and that go poison you. No, take it, eat a leaf. You understand?
Yeah.
Try it and see. Because in the plants itself, they have what's called the trace minerals. Right? It have the little element in it that if you're dealing with the liver, it will balance the kidney. So the kidney don't get damaged while they're fixing the liver. And all these things. But you see, when they go in the pharmacy and they take out one thing from a million different things. Right? Like, for example,
It off balance it.
aloes have about 200 different ingredients in it.
Right.
A few years ago, I was fortunate to go into to Malaysia. It's a herb garden, the largest herb garden in the world, where they're doing aeroponics and so on and making different medicine with herbs. And you're surprised to know that all the thing that growing in your yard is what them have. You understand?
And kind of, as you were saying, one of we school friends, our father is one of his customers now, and he was saying that use this for that. Use that for that. We parents and grandparents, that's what they used to do.
Yeah, that would they know.
From the time I remember sniffling as a child.
Of course.
My mother, hey, go and bring that bush there one time.
Yeah.
From the time you just got a little sniffle.
Yeah.
They send you to get something. And now we go into the tablets. And it's only recently, like as a full-fledged adult, I learned that. I don't know where I thought it used to come from before. But the things that we buy in tablets, plants and things, and some animals think it come from now.
Correct.
As I say, I don't know where I thought it used to come from before. But you learn that the things that healing you in there, it's from the same plant in your yard.
But the water in it down and taking away essential ingredients from within it. You understand? And that's really what African spirituality is about, you know. It's keeping you in tune, right? Because you are a product of this earth. Remember, they say a sperm and an egg, but it's a greater science than sperm and an egg. But when you're born as a child, what is your consuming that bring you so big? Just things off the earth.
Yeah.
Right? So you just a whole set of different foods and all kind of thing.
Yeah.
Really, you're a product of the earth. So all these things that they have with the so-called injection and them. That can't kill we. That can't kill we because if it's from the earth know how to deal with it.
Correct.
We just have to know.
You have to trust the earth.
We have to know ourselves. You understand?
Yeah.
Within the space that we reside, because we are a product of the earth.
All right. Right, so here what? We 30 minutes in, we take a small break and we'll be right back.
Yeah,
Stay tuned, guys.
Make we chat out, let we come out of a Babylon. Yeah. Come make we chat out of this western land and go up in a eastern land. Zion, where them try to shackle down my brain after them take it off my foot and hand. No way. And if I come from Africa, then boy, you're talking like an Englishman. That's wrong, them. See me strip and Billy land the plan. Nice them take away me vegetable. Give me pork and chicken. But them already injecting in the night. The further put the shortage on me, la 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 life. Overstand the things when them attack. Everywhere them go, one where them walk. Hope all this the ground a walk. Surely going back to the mother, la la la. Seven lines coming from the black nation. The black Carolina is coming, yeah. For Jaja children, oh yeah, yeah. That we live it on, black Carolina. Believe it, it's coming, yeah. For Jaja children, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, ready now. Who do they think they are? How do they think them fooling? I signed the wrong from far, and I'm making sure I know them movements. The best time to have a show is when they got the biggest audience. So many lives were sacrificed only to achieve full dominance. And then they put a motion in their plan. Before they do the thing, they plan their bombs. And who was on the place had no one. That's why them a create a boogeyman and say they want to blame the Taliban. There's only Hitler what them a bring, claiming them a look for Bin Laden. When I'm telling you, CIA what trading. Better do research on what I sing. Go beyond the tide, we're fighting what them already know them can't win. Black Carolina, it's coming. For Jaja children, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Black Carolina is coming. For Jaja children, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, na, 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 na. Whoa, 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 whoa. Na, 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 na. I hope that they don't ban me for this. Ban me for this. I, na, 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 na. The land of the free. Oh, boy. When I start to call Michael and Gabriel and Uriel and Raphael with the trumpets I'm blowing, Vatican walls start to shake and I'm causing earthquake just because of the names I'm calling. See, it is not magnificent when I'm killing innocent, especially the children of Jah people. That's why my faith permanent, and I'm well confident in the victory of good over evil. Them really must be think I should be the. When them tell me that I come from monkey, I tell them back at the first supremacy. So them could not play anatomist for me, and never could they liberate me. The conquering lion I behold, so me could they never sell me soul. Can't take me for no silver and no gold. Too late to go back in a them hole. For the Gideon me put a shot up in a Vatican mold. Carolina is coming, yeah. For Jaja children, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Black Carolina, believe it, hey, it's coming, yeah. For Jaja children, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, listen up now. Come, children, make we trot out low. We come out of a Babylon, yeah. Come make we trot out of this western land and go up to the eastern land, no, Zion, where them try to shackle down my brain. When I take it off my foot and no, where? And if I come from Africa, then boy, you're talking like an Englishman. That's wrong there. See me stream up, be wrong, they plan the nice. Them take away me vegetable rice and give me pork and chicken appetite. What them already injecting the night. The further put a shot in on me life. Can't overstand the things that them a talk. Everywhere them go, one way them walk. If them kiss the ground, I war a start. Surely going back to the motherland. 7 lines coming for the black nations. The black Carolina is coming, yeah. For Jaja children, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, many now. Black Carolina is coming, yeah. For Jaja children, oh. talking about.
Yeah, and I could probably just tilt it a little bit.
Yo, we are back.
Yeah.
We are back. OUR Radio family.
Yeah. You know, we shout out Tyler in the studio here.
Yeah, Tyler in the building.
Yeah,
Soon to be
engineer.
song engineer.
Yeah. We want to go back in one time because I don't know, that is why I doesn't like to talk about nothing we talking about. Either before or even during. Because I feel like if what we are just talking about in that break there, that's a whole segment by itself.
Look, a man say here, just like when you pee on your mango tree, the mangoes will produce whatever vitamins you're lacking.
No, but you know, as funny as that might sound, no, but as funny as that might sound, that almost tying into what he's saying. He's saying that the earth is provide for we.
Yeah, correct.
A tree in your yard, and you're urinating on it, and we want to believe we in connection with nature.
Yeah.
And the tree is part of your food.
So let me tell you something. When I was small, when my mother bathing, she used to make all of we pee in she hand and give us the drink. Of course. Because your own urine have a lot of healing in it.
Yeah, I hear they say the Chinese do that too.
Right? There are a lot of eczemas and all kind of thing on your skin you could heal with your own urine. A lot of people don't know that.
Judgment.
Right? We go in the pharmacy and get everything. But it's a mind construct. You know, we the slave master have done a very good trip on us. And you know what? You know, Bob Marley keeps saying mental slavery, and people keep saying slavery done. Right? We're free. But we ain't really free. I can remember in the 1980s,
Right.
when they brought Superstation to Trinidad.
Superstation?
No.
I have no idea what that is.
I was 51.
Yeah.
All right. That is called satellite TV.
All right,
They
okay.
now start to bring satellite TV. I was going junior sec. And 12 o'clock in the night, this channel is to switch on TTT. Is to be streaming. Right? And we was introduced to Boy George and them fellas with the ways. Right? Right? And then they started to bring MTV and so on, and then they started to see gangster rap and Crips and Bloods and so on.
Right.
But what I was doing there is indoctrinating the society. Indoctrinating the society into a mindset. The guy who invented that is a fella named Edward Bernays. Right? He was for people who involved in psychology and think might know the name, or they might know his uncle Sigmund Freud. Right?
We know that name.
And Edward Bernays, what he did is, after the Depression in the 1920s in the US, when the economy was down, nobody buying nothing, everybody struggling, he come up with this idea of mass hypnosis. So he started to hire people to because when a man have a suit, you buy a suit to marry, and then you go with friends, them wedding, and them funeral, and then he end up going your own funeral in the same suit.
Right.
But he started now to hire people to wear different clothes and advertise clothes, advertise having plenty clothes as a thing, advertise having plenty shoes as a thing, advertise having more than one vehicle as a thing.
Right.
And one of the feats that he had was it was taboo for women to smoke. And he hired a group of women and took them to the Boston Marathon, which had a lot of media coverage, and spread a rumor that women is going to rebel against the society because women want the freedom. And he heard that a group of women going to smoke in the Boston Marathon, and they call it torches of liberty. You hear the kind of language
They use it, yeah.
Right? And when he give them a signal, a lot of them pull out a cigarette and thing and start to smoke. And you know, TV pick it up, problem radio station there, and before you know it, women
smoking.
Right? I used to follow Michael Jordan. To know that Nike used to pay Michael Jordan $60 million a year. Right? But they're making over $6 billion a year with Michael Jordan. Because the US have 388 million people. Europe have 345. Understand? China going into 2 billion.
Soon.
India don't pass 1 billion. Right? Africa have over 1 billion. Australia. When you think about the amount of marketing with headband, knee band,
yeah, wristband,
wristband, you name it.
vest, pants.
Right?
Right.
So it's just a mind construct. In fact, the English Premier League does pay £1 billion for the first prize. The first 5 teams in the league does pay more than £1 billion in salaries.
Right.
So obviously they're paying for the first prize. Right? You know where's the money about in the football?
Marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Media.
That's why the Premier League is called the biggest league.
Of course, it's media.
It's the best marketed league.
We feel we local boy down here. You understand? National security and so on. We feel he making money.
Yeah.
You had own the
Right.
The
rights
rights.
to CONCACAF. You understand? So there's mass hypnosis. That is what it is. When you decide Coca-Cola is the best thing to drink, or you want water in a bottle instead of the standpipe, when you decided that none of them wasn't your decision, they're spending $300 million to make a hit movie. But when the star boy walk in the room and he opened the fridge,
Oh God.
right there and there, understand?
Yes.
I learned this from watching my brother
Which one?
Shalan,
All right.
because he doing videography, right?
Right.
The eyes just pick up 32 frames per second and carry it into the brain, right? With the video, you're able to put 300 to 500 frames per second. You haven't seen what it passed again in your brain. You understand? So you're watching your house changing and your kitchen in a certain way and negligee in the bedroom, Lifetime TV. Understand? Lifetime TV just programming with young women.
Yeah.
Understand? Everybody putting relaxer and all kind of different thing in the head.
Yeah.
Not knowing that it's giving them fibroids.
Fibroids,
and all this,
yeah.
understand all this
Yeah.
other different things.
And now polycystic.
Yeah. So we programming our society to be sick.
So that who could benefit? Pharmacies.
Understand?
Just where we start.
But let me look at it for a second. Because where is the dollar?
Paper.
Understand? A piece of paper. Understand?
That we give our value.
Of course, because the give weight from since we small. Right? This red one mean 1, this green one mean 5, this gray one mean 10.
10, yeah.
You understand? So they're teaching me colors and numbers and giving it value.
Right.
Right? But that's just a mental construct, you know? Because in the US they give you faces.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
In other places they give you different colors and figures. Right? So all of that is mass hypnosis. They've been programming me from since we young. So now we come out of school and we go to university and so with a piece of paper.
To
Right?
tell people that we
To
could
tell
do certain
people
things.
that this means something. Right? But what does it really mean? So when a child is born, in fact, let me go before that.
Go ahead.
When a man and a woman have intercourse, right? The sperm is light energy. But in the womb is dark energy. Light and darkness, right? Because life is formed in the darkness. So when that injection of light comes into that darkness and it creates a life, you have a child. But what a lot of people don't know is that a woman don't only make child. She's a creator. The real God is woman.
I hope all listening.
She's a creator. She just create life in anything. So if the man and the woman synchronize and they flow in, she would create life in his dreams and desires. But the man just had to go in the night and talk to she in the day, talk to her, tell her his dreams and desires, what he want to achieve out of this life. Right? Because we is what you call a microcosm of the macrocosm. We is a replica of the universe.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? And if you understand that, then she alters the universe to fit his dreams. She does do that.
Right.
Right? And she creates a whole life around his dreams and desires. Right? Now, when that life comes in here,
And if you understand that,
in the African tradition, in the Orisha tradition, at 8 years old, at 8 days old, they take the child and they do something what's called a Ishintai. They ground the child into this earth. So there's a ritual that is done, receiving the child on earth.
Right.
Right? Because the child came from somewhere. It just now manifests in flesh.
Right.
Right? So now this ritual is done to receive the child. And in that receiving of the child, the Babalawo would read the destiny of the child, which you would understand what the child come here to do and how to guide this child so it can meet its highest destiny. Right? We lost them thing in this Western society.
Long time.
Now, there are foods that you could eat that I can't eat because of the energy you carry and the energy I carry. There are colors that you could wear that I can't wear, right? Because of your energy also. Because at the end of the day, everything is energy. We are just energy vibrating at different levels, different frequencies, faster, slower, you understand? And so on. Now, the Jews in the Bible have a story about Abraham having a covenant with God
Right.
that every male child at 8 days old would circumcise. Right? So let me tell you what that is about. At 8 days old is when the soul concretizes into the flesh. When your uri, right, concretizes into this flesh. But when it comes in at 8 days old and they circumcise you as a boy child, the head of your penis have most of the nerves, or a lot of nerves in it.
Right.
So it shocks the body. So it makes the body run a very high energy. It goes into shock.
Right.
And the soul concretizing into that high energy gives that child an energy that is beyond the other children that exist. So as that child grow, he penis rubbing and he pampas and he always excited. Right? He always excited.
Right.
So he goes through school and he elevates past all the rest of children because everything he does is in passion. Understand? What they're doing is arousing the passion of the child. Right? So the child gets excited and goes through his whole life superseding all the other children in sports, in every aspect of his life. Right? And he becomes a Bill Gates, and he becomes a Elon Musk, and he becomes
A Bezos.
You understand? Right?
Jeff Bezos.
Yes. Because he's running an energy beyond everybody else. But that is our science. They took that from us. Right? The Jews took that from us. But we don't practice that anymore. Understand?
Always practice.
We practice Christianity. Now Christianity have its thing in it.
Right.
Right? Because there are a lot of things that we have hidden in Christianity
Right.
as slaves. Right?
Right.
But we hide it so good that we feel it's the Christianity itself. You understand? And we ignore the little secrets of the tradition that was hidden within it. Because we could be building masterminds and be building all the other things that they building that keeps us in subservient to them. But why are we not? Again, the programming.
Right.
And they don't just program us in one way, right? It's a multifaceted approach they have. I can remember being small and my grandmother busting coconut to make oil. All of a sudden, when we started to get TV here, and coconut oil bad for you.
Yeah.
And they're giving you hydrogenated oil and partially hydrogenated oil. Not knowing that your body can't process hydrogen gas, and it stores it in your arteries as plaque and cholesterol. And before you know it, you're dying at 40 with heart attack and so on, and 50 because you have high blood pressure and all these things, right? They're giving you, if you see the process of making flour, the amount of bleaching and they take out all the ingredients from the wheat. They give you a wheat germ and they sell it one side. That was in the wheat.
Yeah.
Right? They give you a wheat bran and they sell it one side. And the fiber, that was in the wheat. So they take out the nutrition and they take out the fiber and they give you the husk. And they bleach it white and that's where you're eating. Right? And it sticks up in your colon and your colon big so. And after a few years, your colon small so, and your stomach start to come out because
No way to pass.
the food that you're intaking, understand, getting stored inside of you. Right? So it's all these are programs that they're running on us constantly. But we don't spend enough time doing introspection, looking at ourselves and how we could improve. How we could improve physically, mentally, spiritually, in any way.
So your brother asked a question here. So how do we use African spirituality to build these things, build the things they built, or to build our own?
By teaching it.
Right.
By teaching it to the younger folks, the younger ones, the children.
Yeah.
Teaching them self-confidence, teaching them self-awareness. Because as I said before, spirituality is just a side effect, of you knowing
yourself,
you.
right.
You understand? Because if you know you, then you're in tune.
Yeah.
Right? How fast your hair does grow. Right? How much green hair you have in your head? We really know about you.
Yeah.
Right? You're watching in the mirror every day and you watch these superficial things. Right? You doesn't even know when come on, get this button here, boy. Understand why this come out here? Right? Your body purging something.
Yeah.
Right? And we look at all these little things and take it for granted. Understand? We turn a whole set of meat and a set of mole and what's and all that thing coming out of my skin. Well, your grandmother did have that. and then they tell you these things are
Hereditary, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But here's your meals were hereditary.
Hereditary, yeah, because you inherit that from them.
Of course. Understand? But they was forced into some of them things.
True.
And then limited option. Right?
True.
But now where the world has reconnect, right? We should be more aware because long time they say bring books on a ship,
Right.
And all of we
Yeah, we used to go on the book ship. Yeah.
West Indian reader. Why don't call it West Indian reader?
Yeah.
Right? A man in England write that book for we. Understand? Nothing to do with we,
Yeah, because we write it.
But in Jamaica they're doing it, understand? And so we have all these constructs now, right? We have the University of the West Indies, right? But to get a higher degree, you have to go to Cambridge and you have to go to
London,
Harvard,
yeah,
understand?
Yeah.
Right? But they're just teaching what they want to teach us, right?
Just to keep it exactly where it's at.
Exactly.
Keep the cycle going.
Look how long we set up a Caribbean Court of Justice and there's a whole big fight because we want to hold on to the Privy Council.
Yeah.
We love the slave master.
Well, Baba, as you touch on that, exactly. That is a big part to it. Plenty of our people today comfortable lying on the tones that we lying on. Them turn it into a silly poster feeling. So them comfortable on it because it work in a certain way for them now. Because that Caribbean Court of Justice, you'd think that if we claim to be an independent republic, that would be the things to push for all the people in the law fraternity.
Yeah.
But you just read that the people against it when they want to go to the Queen.
Even them things are fast, right? When you look at your deed and thing and your cadastral and you see the crown stamp and all kind of things still on it, you realize them things are fast.
We independent.
You understand?
Look, I'm asking a question here. How do you teach confidence? Is there a step before that lesson?
No, there's no step for that. Confidence is you finding you.
Yeah. The more you know about yourself, is the more confident you'll
Of
be.
course.
Yeah.
And then probably you wouldn't even have to teach it
Correct.
if we live in a certain way amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
No, I
It would
say
just be a part of our life.
impeccability, you are Pele. Understand? Practicing to have good character.
Mm.
Once you have that, everything else will fall into play.
See, Mendoza said there's still mourning the Queen. That whole big thing where we had people try to come against and see. I don't want to get that too much of time and energy.
Please, yeah.
But it's also for me, is also a very vivid picture of a lot of people who talk this African conscious talk this spiritual talk, but then we see them involved in certain things that make a real question.
So what's the Catholic Church, for example?
Right.
The Catholic Church is set up with some ministers and so on. No, all churches set up with ministers, right? The parliament is set up with ministers and so on. And what if you watch the setup of the parliament, you'll realize that there's a whole big lodge. There's a whole, you see, people feel Eric Williams was a savior, not knowing that Eric Williams actually run the country on behalf of the English. We ain't abolish nothing. Look, we still have some other laws on the book. Right? It's illegal to ride a bike. It's illegal to ride a bike in the night.
Yeah, drum.
It's illegal to tow a man on a bike. Right? All them things
As
are laws.
Orisha devotees, a drum is a real big
Right.
part of everything, and it still has things in the law books
About it.
playing certain
You
type of
understand?
drum music.
You know why the drum just talk?
Yeah.
The drum just talk in a language beyond what they could understand.
Yeah. And that's why they ban it.
You know where they talk to? It is talk to Menelin. It is talk to the darkness. Them can't understand that. Understand? Every time a black child is born, the universe expands. The scientists telling you universe expands, but I can't tell you how.
How and why, yeah.
So I'm telling you why. You see Menelin? Menelin is the darkness. Understand? If we is a microcosm of the macrocosm, right? We are a replica of the universe. Within you, right? Within you, it have 7 major organs and 2 minor ones. Right? Within our solar system, what it have?
Planets.
Huh?
What, the planet?
Yeah. It has 7 major ones and 2 minor ones. Right? You have over 200 billion cells in your body. Within our galaxy, what it have?
Over 2 billion stars.
200 billion.
Stars,
Exactly.
yeah.
Right? And you can expand it into the DNA. You understand what I'm saying?
I feel there's 2 hours is enough, nah?
I remember listening to Dr. Lilila Africa and how you say that they remind me of something he say. He say nearly everything man invented in the last 100 years is based off of the human body, you know.
Yep.
Camera based on your eyes. And he was going on and on about that.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cell phone
AI
is
is the
based
brain.
on your ability
To
To communicate.
communicate telepathically. Right? Long time when a man want to contact his family who gone somewhere across the world, right? He would go and stand up by the biggest tree he could find and close the eye and talk to the tree. And the next morning, his son go wake up with the message in a dream, a son or in a vision. Right? You feel we still do have that?
I'm going to share this experience with all you. I had a long time ago. It was over 20 years ago. Sit down on the promenade line on a Friday. Takouka. And them time are now hearing about Illuminati and Masons and things. So it's a real exciting conversation.
Yeah.
Right? So we sit down talking and a man saying, no, not too far from us hearing the conversation now. And you come over and you just say, oh, they ain't far off and all, they just have it too generalized. Right? So we watching it like a madman.
Yeah.
Thing. He say, What's your phone number? Them time we know how them big cell phone and them that can't do nothing but make a phone call.
Right.
I hesitate to my partner give me number. And that man sit down. Close your eyes. And then we like if he talking. Yeah, the problem not there. Well, now we convinced there's a madman.
Mm-hmm.
And my partner cell phone ring. Yeah, on the promenade talking to my son. It's supposedly a foreign call because them time it didn't have no caller ID for foreign phone calls. So it just used to come up unknown on your phone. Or your phone, I don't know, it just used to blink again and call now.
Yeah.
Right? And he phone ring. Watch me now. Up to today, he my partner, he don't like to talk about it.
That's how easy it make him.
Watch me, we just leave and go on. Yeah, just leave and go on one time, boy, because we wasn't ready to process that now.
Yeah.
Boss.
Yeah.
All right, let me take our next break. Let me take our next break, please, because, brother, the thing's coming heavy and hard.
Well, man, me there now Studio 53 alone say my brother Angelo. Why? Guru 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 do. Why yeah. Wa 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 wa. Na. Boy yeah. Wa wa. Tell him to remember Elijah. Who's on up in no time we on fire. Remember Daniel. We sit up in the lion's den. Somebody. Remember Salaman. Tell them one cancer wise man. And King David. Remember you come out of Babylon. Tell them say who Jah bless. Tell them we say no man curse. Don't matter how hard things get. Almighty pass me through the worst. Yeah. Well who Jah bless. Tell them no man curse. Don't matter how hard things get. Well Jah carry me through the worst. Remember, Jah never give me more than I can carry. And though my journey is so rocky, and the burden is so heavy. Yeah, but through life experience, I let the people at a distance. Don't matter how the enemy responds. So let's see me guide and me guidance. Yeah, cause I will Jah bless. Well, tell him no man curse. Don't matter how the wicked them get. Well, Jah pass me through the worst. Yeah. Who Jah bless. Tell him no man curse. Don't matter how hard things get. Well, Jah pass me through the worst. Yeah, me know life so hard. Me nobody struggle, tell them down in the yard. And even when things get so bad is only one man give me my reward. What? That's God. My mama always tell me, stay away from trouble daily and keep away from bad company. And anything you want, ask the Almighty, cause who Jah bless. When tell them me say no man curse. When matter how hard things get, when Jah pass me through the worst. Yeah. Who Jah bless. When tell them me say no man curse. No matter how hard things get, when Jah pass me through the worst. When then again do you remember Elijah? We stand up in no chariot of fire. Remember Daniel? We sit up in the lion's den. Yeah. You remember King Solomon? Who walk up on this earth as a wise man. Remember King David? When they reach a down to Babylon. Yeah. That's who Jah bless. We tell them it's no man curse. No matter how hard things get. We Jah pass me through the worst. Yeah. Who Jah bless. We tell them it's no man curse. No matter how hard things get. We Jah pass me through the worst. Yeah. I say love Jah live and yet a man die. I say let loose the pussy gander, let Babylon turn over like crimson and clover. Yeah, well I be ice and shut the ice, gold and green band, and me comfy kick Babylon in them face, spitting at them mouth, kick them way, done them can't stand up in the judgment too long. Selassie I lives and reign for Ivan.
and they never will. Only volunteers get the fill. Empty promises is what they hear. No running water from year to year. Hearts that no one desire. That if there is a Messiah, someday he hear their whispered prayer. Covered always bare and scanty. 10 people in a one-bedroom shanty. Forced to sell on the pavement. No vacancy, no employment. Cattle firecracker from gunshot. Blood does flow when things get hot. Afraid to look out the window to hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 Lord, Lord, crying, crying. Voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 Lord, Lord, crying. Voices from the ghetto. Help us, Father. Oh, Lord. Mothers does just hold their head on ball. And them woman stronger than a wall. A big pusher eyeing she daughter. Son in jail for manslaughter. Too bad for him, he a name bad boys. No bail, that's the black man's choice. Like Shadow say, poverty is hell. She little girl child belly start to swell. Some say life is a cycle, but don't draw she no circle. Where will it all end? Only time could tell. Outside the siren keep howling, inside your belly will growling. Police raid very often. Simpson measuring a coffin. One night in bed you're sleeping, next night is a wake that you're keeping. So you're praying to win the lotto, not to hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 crying. Voices from the ghetto. Crying, Lord, crying, hear them pleading. Crying, voices from the ghetto. A hand to us, Lord. We are not a forgotten people. Hear our prayer. With dented pride, they sold their on.
All right, folks, we are back. And we want to continue the topic.
But before we even go on there,
Uh-huh.
she's one of our ancestors now. About that voice.
Yeah.
That voice used to reach inside of you. You know?
And whole, yeah.
And that's how it is, no, yes.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, she and Ella too.
He ain't that, and it's, yeah, he ain't that.
So I will tell you something. I was initiated here in Trinidad by Baba, call him Baba Adlon, right? Arula, Baba Arula, Fakayode,
Right.
I will give you a little something I know about him. At 6 years old, he was mourned down in Moruga by Mother Connox, as they call she, Mother Lenny. He give me the story, and I know he wouldn't mind giving some of his story, right? But he's a very proficient young man. He's only, I think, 42 or 43 today, right? He went to Nigeria and so on, and he studied. He's still studying. You're always doing some course. I know, and I like that about him because it's the same kind of thing about me. In the life that I live, I have a whole set of certificates and all kind of thing, right? But his whole life has been spirituality. We all might know him as Banjala. Understand? He's a very prolific Babalao.
That's the Kaison,
Yeah,
yeah.
the young king.
I cut it here, you know.
Uh,
Yeah, he come and take a little by my once or twice.
You know, I must give him props because not because he initiated me, because I had the opportunity to look at him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? I mean, we all have challenges and so on.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people in this society, in this fraternity, don't like him for one reason or the next. But I like him.
Right.
Understand? I like all
Yeah,
of
I know
them.
the reason.
I like all of them. Understand?
Right. Yeah.
There was another guy. Again, if you as an individual want to find your pattern and so on and understand your African self,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's good to reach out and find him. He could guide you. He could lead you. He could read your Udu and tell you who you are and where you are right now in your life, right? Because that's what the African spirituality is about: being able to guide and uplift and make sure you could reach your destiny. There's another one called Samorin. I never met him, but I heard a lot of good news about him also. Some in Trin City. And I know there is Baba Shaka. He have an issue temple also down in Santa Flora.
So who's the one that helping you discover?
Huh?
The one that helping you
Well, I
discover?
learning from everybody, but my Baba is right.
Okay.
Baba Adlon.
All right. Okay.
Right.
All right.
I
Okay.
learn a lot. I've been learning a lot from him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't watch face.
Right.
Right. Your enemy is not my enemy.
Mm.
Understand? So if you and somebody has something, that has nothing to do with me. Right? And I think if more people take that type of position,
Yeah.
understand? Because you just always hear one side of the story, you know, right? But you really don't need no side of the story. A man character just define him, right?
Talk the things.
And if you and next man vex, why I should be vexed with the next man, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the question that I started off with, because that's my mindset coming into Orisha tradition.
Right.
Yeah, I have heard in my very short time in this tradition, too many people, I do deal with that one, and I do deal with this one. And most of them is not because they had a direct negative or what they deem a negative interaction with the person, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's from somebody say, do that.
He say, she say.
And it keeping us apart. So that's why for me, 3 weeks ago, I took part in this year's Ocean Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very, very pleased that it was 2 Orisha organizations that came together and put on the festival. That was, for me, as an individual, that was a big thing.
Luckily, and the Araba that who came from Nigeria and was also part of that festival.
Right.
Right now he's in Tableland. And another Ile, right? Ubatala Ile. And he's doing initiations and so on up there. Understand? So the tradition is strong, you know. We just
Yes,
have all
it
these
is.
little,
It
we just
is.
have all these little things that people need to work out within
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
It don't really have nothing to do with nobody else but them.
True.
And the sooner they get that, understand? One of the things though, before we go where we want to go, one of the things I've observed in the tradition is the idea of polygamy. You know, a lot of people, we so indoctrinated into this Western society, right?
Right.
So let me share that conversation a little bit.
All right.
Right? What does a man and a woman do together other than make children?
Build a house. Build home, family.
That is making children.
Right.
Understand? And probably securing the children.
Right.
Right? But you create.
Mm-hmm.
You create. And sometimes a man destiny to create is so big, right?
Mm-hmm.
He need more than one vessel to hold it, right? So he would come with a destiny where he may have to have many wives, right?
Right.
But the woman in this Western society would fight against it because, oh, you honored man, understand?
Mm-hmm.
But can you hold my desire to become Bill Gates? Can you dream so far? You alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the construct where you have been developed as a human being, right?
Yeah.
The home you grew up in and the environment you grew up in. Can you fashion a dream for me that is so big? You understand? So we just miss the point of where we are and who we are,
Yeah.
right? We try to limit it down to these little petty things that they give us in the society. Because Christianity come and give us. Now there are some of us who it's our destiny to be with one woman, right? Right?
Right.
Based on what is your role and function,
Right.
right? But if you come here to advance a society or advance a cause that is way greater, understand? Sometimes you need to mold that in a different vessel or more than one vessel,
Right.
right? And manifest it.
Right.
The thing about it is nobody have taught us how to manifest things into our children. Because the society becomes individual. Everything is individual. Right? So you start a plan. Look at we brothers and sisters on the next side, right? Next door we neighbor and them. Harina Singh and Sons. Mutilal Singh and Sons. You understand? And we business name George.
If my father listening, like you hear my father say that, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You know, we just only get that when we look. Right? If you really take time out and look. Otherwise you go about your daily life and feel that is your daily life. Not knowing that you live in somebody else's dream. Let me give you an idea. You finish school and you get a job in a factory. And you're sitting on a chair all day and you're pressing a button. And the factory does make button. You understand? And you spend 40 years there until you retire, sitting on a chair, pressing a button
To make buttons.
You understand? And the owner of that factory, he and the train in France this holiday. They in Egypt next holiday.
Yeah.
You understand? They in Canada. So, you understand? And you waiting to get 2 weeks. You waiting to get 2 weeks home. Right?
Yeah.
To clean your yard. You understand? And your children's greatest vacation is by the aunt in the next village. You understand? Nothing to expand the mind.
Madness.
Right? Sometimes your whole purpose in this world is to set a road for your children.
Sure.
I feel so.
And you didn't get the message. And when your ancestors and them see how hard they work and you come and you only want to be in the bar on a Friday, right? And your biggest ambition is $2 more on your pay. Sometimes they just take you because you ain't fulfilling your destiny.
Your destiny, yeah.
Right? Or sometimes they take your children because you ain't set the road for them to fulfill the destiny. And you're wondering, oh God, I'm serving God, I'm serving Orisha, I'm doing this so long, and how much rent could dead? You understand? And you have all kind of questions. But what you set for them? Right? Sometimes that's your whole purpose and you ain't fulfill it.
It's a weird thing. Weird mightn't be the word. When you start to look at life from that perspective of our parent and you start to question. I mean, me and you have these conversations regularly. And sometimes I sit down after and the conversation playing over in my head. And you start, that's his son.
Yeah, tell him.
Yeah.
Right. And we discuss these things like, what we're really doing for our children. The things that we're doing now, what benefit it bringing to them. You know, how do we impart and impact to them that some of the things we're doing is to benefit you or to make a more sturdy foundation for you. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and financially. Because it has some inside of it that we never really deal with as black people, like emotional and mental strength. Right? Where everything today, I mean, I was saying this and I had to use the line. I did not agree with everything you're saying, but this makes sense to me when I say we didn't get much hugs And most of us in the group is our school group.
Right.
Could attest to that. You know, we didn't get much hugs as children.
Mm-hmm.
Say, but we feel today we didn't really need it.
Yeah.
But we see, and I give thanks that we had the group of people that was speaking at the vision to see that now what I'm trying to do, we try need hugs, boy.
Yeah.
You know, so I dropped my daughter to school this morning. And when I turn my back, I feel my pants pulling.
I ain't get no hug.
I ain't got no hug and no kiss, no.
So let me tell you something. My father, only know Shallan, so
Yeah.
only know my story.
Right.
My father had plenty children. You understand? 6 with my mother. The next one up in the next 2 streets up the road. Further up the road and next 2. Up the road and next one. Down the road 1. 5 in Balmain, so down in Valencia. You understand?
Good.
So that was my father. But my father run Shango energy. Shango, if you understand who's Shango in this tradition, right? Shango is a king, but he's also the energy is the energy of the root chakra. Understand?
The red.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You understand?
Yeah.
So women find that energy very enticing.
Right.
So he had plenty women, right? And plenty children. But one of the things he always did was make sure all of us know one another, right?
So they don't end up with one another.
Right? Not for that,
Not for that
purpose
reason,
really,
right?
but as a responsibility,
Right.
son,
Right.
in building what he was building, because he was building an army, he make very powerful children,
For sure.
right? Now, I didn't grow in this tradition, so I have children who are struggling now to even get them to understand this walk, this part of this journey. Understand? Because when you're running around your whole life trying to find your way, right? You're in church here, you're in that church there, all these things are making sense. You ain't finding the source of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But you're toting them around, right? And eventually the mother of children might even get fed up. You're from place to place. But when you finally plant your foot and you find what you're looking for, now is a challenge to get them there. But I know I will get them there because it's my destiny.
Right.
Understand? And they would understand. Right? Because I understand now. After all that seeking and searching and right? I understand. Right? It's unfortunate that I'm not the only one in this predicament. Right? That you're trying that sometimes the same society you're trying to uplift and elevate doesn't support you in that.
Right?
You understand?
Trust, we know.
A whole lot of show.
That's our
Don't
whole
even
next
stop there.
Yeah.
Let's carry on.
So the reason why I tell you I love all of them is when we was talking about the Babalaos and them and the Ianifas and so on. Right? Because that is what they do. They help people find their destiny, help people to elevate to the self. Right? So this one mightn't be talking to that one, right? But that don't mean he ain't helping other people. Right? So we just can't run into that energy and hold it.
Right.
Right? We gotta watch it from the outside and say, well, he go find it when he find it. Because it's something bigger. And he ain't get that part yet, but he doing all these things right. So look at the things he doing right. I just go anywhere and give everybody love. So that's why I just give me ain't going to fight nobody and pelt no blow and you understand?
Right.
Because I working on my character. They want to work on their own, well
That is fine.
that is fine with them, you understand? When they meet it, it will be the time to meet it.
Right.
And if they never meet it, well, they gotta come back and get it the next time around. Understand? Because it's incarnation and reincarnation until you get right.
I had a based on the incarnation until they get it right.
Yeah.
I had somebody say to me years ago, what is called deja vu.
Of course.
That part of your soul remembering something. You know, I say, oh God, I don't like deja vu because I said, you ain't get it right. You're here again, you know.
Yeah.
You ain't get it right. They're like, yo, I got a deja vu. Cool. I wonder if I do this idea. I wonder if I'm doing all right, boy.
Yeah.
And then we could tie that back into what I was saying about going to learn your destiny. What is your Udu? What is your your map for here now.
Yeah.
Okay, your brother Israel back and all. Your brother asking, I would like to hear about using spirit rituals or spirituality to run or energize your home, your business, and your community,
Yeah, let me finish
etc.
off with that now. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Hindus, the Jews, and the Chinese do.
Let me finish off with that.
So you walk on the road and you would see every morning between 6 and 7 o'clock, either the old lady or the Indian
Yeah,
man
with the thing of
stand
water.
up by the
and
little
the flower.
ganji and the face the sun.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? And they're energizing the self. Right? People have all kind of myth about who they're praying to and who they're praying to.
Right.
Right? Everything that exists is part of you. Understand? You are the divine spark of Olodumare within.
Right.
So everything that exists is part of you. So you are energizing yourself in many different ways. Understand? When I do my ritual, I initiated for issue. Right? And issue is the divine messenger. It's not no way that issue can go. It's not no way that no pantheon issue will deal with. Issue deal with everything.
Right.
Right? But issue is not no being outside somewhere that is come and jump into me. You know, that people in this tradition long, and that's what I feel about Orisha, you know.
Yeah.
Orisha is some being, something, somewhere that is come and jump into you and take you over.
Yeah.
No, what it is just there's an element of you, right, that understand this pathway. And when you tap into that element of you, right, and you manifest it, that is where you get. Right? So, it don't have nothing coming from nowhere to jump in, as they say.
Right.
It have you bringing out, you unfolding part of yourself.
Right. What already there?
But that's already there. Right? Now, let me look at it a different way. Let's say Oshun is love, right? Now, I sure you felt love in many different forms and fashion. I sure I and everybody else in the room felt love in many different forms of fashion.
Yeah.
You might have felt love that I haven't ever felt as yet, right? But love in itself is an energy, right?
Right.
And love, the energy of love is conscious of itself, right?
Yeah.
So, what you call a manifestation of Oshun is the embodiment of love in its totality within you. You understand? Love could do many things. Love could heal, love could bless, love could change a whole lot of things within life. Because if your neighbor come in and quarreling every morning and all you're doing is showing love, eventually the quarrel will stop.
True.
Right? Because you're passing and your neighbor quarreling with you, you know, but rain falling and you're getting the same neighbor trying to ride out the road. Understand?
Yeah.
When you pass. Understand? You buy something for the train in the village, you get the neighbor train some too. Right? Eventually some part of that neighbor will realize that you is not such a bad person.
Correct.
Whatever them bitter with you for, there's a greater part of you that is acceptable. And if we look at things from there, understand? Then we get a greater understanding.
Right.
Now moving back into
Sheldon question.
yeah, smoking out your house and all these type of different things.
Right.
Right? There are a lot of, as I said, your environment carries your vibration.
Right.
Once you are in tune with you. Because if every Monday morning you run on the road, you spend out all your money gambling, understand? By Friday you're in the bar when you get paid, and you're all over the place and you ain't have no foundation, then your environment cannot resonate you. Right? But if you are aware of you and you ritualize your life, right? Because that is what it is, and a ritual is getting up in the morning and just doing the same thing constantly, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Discipline.
You don't have to do everything exactly the same all the time because life is about diversity.
Yeah.
And you could only expand in consciousness, right? If you leave the norm from time to time. But there are some things that you would make foundation. So you ritualize your life by having a certain energy in you.
Yeah.
And you expand that within yourself, within your home. right? Example, I just meditate. I've been meditating for over 15 years, 16 years, right? And there are meditations you could do that would expand your consciousness. And say something is wrong within you, it will resonate within your house, it will resonate within your yard, right? Just as you would look for herbs for healing, there are herbs also for healing your space. Smoking out your house, you understand?
Yeah.
You get some white sage.
Yeah.
You understand? It had different herbs that they use in the tradition, right? You look at incense. We feel incense made out of
Herbs.
herbs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're using herbs to energize your space, to have a certain polarity within your environment,
Right.
right? To remove the negatives, to make one or more energy dominant within your space. So other negative attributes from things wouldn't, affect you.
Right.
Same thing in your business,
Right.
right? You're doing a business. I have a scaffolding company. Registered as a limited liability since 2007. But before that, I was operating as a sole trader. And I've taught over 1,400 people in this environment, scaffolding, certify them, right? With the international certificate. I've given over a couple of hundred free,
Right.
helping to uplift the people around me.
Right.
Sometimes my partner might have a son, he come out of school and he ain't have nothing to do. Understand? I'd give him a course and hire him when I have a job and teach him how to do the job, and 90% of the time they go out as they gain experience, because I don't always have work.
Right.
They go and they now have
Start
a
to do it for
certification
themselves.
and they
Yeah.
understand? Plenty of people
Teach
in the
them to
industry.
fish.
Yeah. Right? And saying that one of the things, as I mentioned earlier, right? You all use it as a giveaway. I would give one of you, however you all choose to do it,
Right.
a young man between 18 and 25, I would give him a free scaffolding course, a certified program.
Or do pull up.
Right? From the Scaffold Training Institute in Houston, Texas. My business is registered as a authorized training institute.
Right.
Right? And get them started somewhere, you understand?
Yeah.
So you could have another certification or another trade,
Yeah.
something that you could do,
Yeah.
right?
That big, we thank
And if
you.
more people would do little things like that, because charity does begin at home.
Oh gosh.
And if we want to heal we people, we have to give some charity.
Of course.
To our people.
To our people, of course.
Understand?
Of course.
The one of the initial things when we wanted to have somebody like you here is to just go in on why is it not used more? Well, we kind of know why. Because I like to give the example and say, when I used to buy Chinese food, nearly all the Chinese restaurants are going, I've seen Buddha. And I've seen some element from within the traditional culture that they use for either luck or blessings or whatever. So much so that some of us even buy stuff
yeah.
to use it. The same thing.
Yeah, I have a Buddha too, but
Right?
that was a gift.
Right. But and I've seen for myself within my business where it be passing in front of my business. I play in African music.
A devil thing, boy.
Good
Why you don't be playing that?
level devil thing, boy. The same people that have, I tell them, they have a dead man and a piece of wood on the neck. They have some kind of something from some other spiritual system that
Right.
don't belong to us.
Right.
But the simple thing as the music you hear in there, and you're seeing people either they make a step away, or they walk faster, or you see the look on the face.
So the Western society has pushed Christianity as the dominant religion, right? And I say religion because the Hindu tradition, the Chinese, and even the African tradition is not really religion, you know. It's way of life, you understand? You don't do that on a part-time basis. You do that becomes your life.
Your life, yeah.
Right? You don't go to church on a Sunday and that is it. Understand? Your life had to become ritualistic. Right? There are these elements of your being, and what you're doing is energizing your being. Just as you eat food, right? You eat food to energize the body, but what energizes the spirit, the soul, or the ori, as you call it? What energizes that? And when we try to look at ourselves deeper, we start to look at these things, and then we would start to understand what the other people doing, right? Because what they're doing is energizing themselves and clearing their pathways so they could have successful lives. We have Christianity telling us that, for example, I have 14 versions of the Bible. Right? All of them really saying the same thing, right? But we still missing the messages in it. We're trying to worship a man that never exists called Jesus, right? And we could visit that a little bit, because if you look at the letter J was created in the 15th century, first showed up in the German language. And they tell me, well, they translate the name was Yeshua. Right? But how do you translate something? If I bring a hat here and put it on the table, and you don't speak English and I don't speak English, right? For we to understand that this is hat, or this is sombrero, we have to bring it and show and bring it forth and say, this is sombrero, this is hat, and we have to identify that.
That's the same
right?
thing.
Who brought Yeshua forth and say, all right, his name will be Jesus from today? You understand? How do you make that translation?
And that is where we just lost some of the people. Right, I have experienced it. You would have experienced it over the years. I mean, me and your brother used to be going hard, long time on the socials, you know. And they tell them simple thing, you know. I mean, I don't think I the angry black man I was.
You're not.
3 years ago.
You're not.
They used to be like,
You're
you know,
not.
But I tell them it has certain realities that just turn us away from each other.
Yeah.
So did he talk about betterment for African people? That song all well and good, until we tell them, we gotta get them back that Jesus. You know, that Jesus never worked for us. And then when we go a little further and tell them, well, there's no physical, historical evidence of nearly all the characters in the Bible. Right? There is no, and some of these things make absolutely no sense. Like, I was 10 years old or a little younger. Right? And my mother used to take us to a very big church in Pity Valley. And I just tell them, that is where my questioning started, because I like to read. And them tell you, how they show you to read the Bible now. Read it by books, chapters of the books. So don't open the Bible today and you read Genesis and then you switch down tomorrow. No. So I started to read Genesis. And the first 2 pages of the Bible, I had questions that most of the people who believe in it, the whole life can answer. Like, he made 2 people, Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve had 2 children in the beginning. I want to specify that to understand the Bible says they had more children. But the period that we're talking about was only Cain and Abel. One killed one. But then I tell you,
Next one went and get a wife.
he went in the land and north and get a wife. So I asked them, and this was my innocence asking it.
Right.
Where was that land? Who was them people?
So that is where the construct does really begin to, right? But let me tell you something, right? Adam was a race. Adam was not man. Understand? Right? You tell you Eve, right? If I tell you I'm coming by you Christmas Eve, what am I telling you?
The day before Christmas.
If I told you I'm coming by you New Year's Eve, what I'm telling you?
Day before New Year's.
So what does Eve really stipulate or signify?
Before.
So how can we make Adam first? And Eve is before. Understand? We get caught up in linguistics. We get right?
English.
Right? Yeah. You see, the Bible tells you that, and I want to go into just a little bit of the Bible and you understand something. in the beginning of the Bible, tell you that God was in the darkness, and He said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Let me just visit that statement alone.
But if we go in based on where you start,
Right.
darkness is the woman.
Right?
Yeah.
Very well. Right? But
not
He
darkness in
said-
a negative side.
He said, "Let there be light." Right? I mean, He spoke.
Yeah.
But where's speech?
Physical attribute.
Physical.
Where's speech?
Sound.
How does He speak? Sound?
Yeah. With the mouth.
But what makes sound?
Vibration. Yeah.
Right? Vibration. Right? So the scientists tell you that the world was created on a big bang. Right? So if even God created, you only whisper.
Yeah.
It's a big song He make.
Yeah.
Understand? When He said, "Let there be light," this is just terminology, but I join it to a reference point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Keep it simple.
So it tell you that Elohim was the God that created the world. Right? But in the Hebrew, Elohim is spelled Aleph Lamed He Yod Mem. And if you break down that in Hebrew, because I've been studying this for 15 years, right? If you break down the Hebrew, Aleph Lamed He Yod Mem, right? Aleph is the energy of the darkness. And I break it down in the simplest form because it's way deeper than this too.
Yeah. Please keep
Right?
it simple. Yeah.
Aleph is the energy of the darkness. The letter Aleph. In Hebrew, a letter is a philosophy, you know. A letter is not like English that
Where it's
makes
just
a word.
visible. Yeah.
A word is a bigger philosophy, right? Aleph is the energy of the darkness, and Lamed is light, right? So let me take you back to the English a little bit, because it said that on the fourth day, He created the sun and the moon. But He said, "Let there be light" on the first day. So what's giving you the light on the first day? You understand?
Yeah.
Now, Lamed is light that have not been assigned or unassigned light. That's the light that comes off the darkness. That's the center of the galaxy. You understand? So Aleph, Lamed, He. The letter He is the fifth letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and it stands for transformation, change. So out of the darkness, light was created, and then the light was transformed into Yod. Yod is 10 dimensions a spin. And anything that spins in 10 dimensions becomes self-sustaining. So He made a light that could sustain itself, right? Which is a lesser light. You talk about the greater light and the lesser light. That's the sun. Understand? Yod. Right? And then the last letter is Mem. But Mem is written in two ways in Hebrew. Right? When it's written at the end of a word, it is closed. And a closed Mem signifies a vessel. It is containment. Right? So the word Elohim doesn't mean God. It is an explanation for the creation. Right? It's really a deeper philosophy. And we could go on into the book of Numbers. Right? The book of Numbers telling about the building a tabernacle for God. But they use 20 shekels of this, 30 shekels of that, 40 shekels of that, over and over and over. But who does take time to check how much shekels in the writings? When you check the shekels in each chapter, you get
365. Oh. Go ahead. Sorry.
Right? 369 shekels. 369 is the foundation frequency of the universe.
369.
You understand? 369, right? It is the foundation frequency, right? When you tune into yourself and you hear in your ears, right? So, like for example, you hear the Hindus go
Om.
What they're doing is they are resonating the frequency within themselves to come in tune with the universe.
Yeah.
Understand? When you check the other chapter and you check how much shekels they use, you get 417. That is called the dissolution frequency. That is the dissolve negative, right? But yet the Bible tells you the temple of God is where?
Within.
Within, right? that whole thing there is a code of building you, building your temple. Understand? The other chapter, if you check the frequencies, you get 528. That's called the love frequency or the creative frequency, the frequency that is used to create things. You understand? So that book is coded in so much as secrets, right? It's not that it is not truth or we don't have very effective information in it, but we get caught in the jargon. You understand? We get caught in the literal part of it and not understanding that it's written in a depth. When I started to meditate, because I grew up in church, my mother used to take me to church every Sunday. And when I started to meditate, and I started to learn what's called the Jacob's ladder. How to step out of here and step into there. Right? I could recall the Bible telling about the Jacob's ladder. So when I go back and start to revisit
But they're trying to reach heaven.
The story, it tells you, it had two stories. It tells you that Jacob was traveling through a place and he had a dream. And he dreamed that he was ascending and descending a ladder. And when he came out of the dream, he said, surely this is the house of God. And he called it Bethel. Right? Right in the English Bible, they write a Hebrew word, Bethel. Bet meaning door. No, sorry, Bet meaning house. And El meaning God. Right? So he says, surely this is the house of God. But in the other part, I think it was chapter 11 in Genesis, was chapter 4 and chapter 11, I think. When he passed in back to a place and he take a stone and he put it as a pillow, and he dreamed angels were ascending and descending a ladder. And he wrestled with the angel asking him for a name. And when he came out of the dream, he said, for I have seen God face to face and my life is preserved. What does that mean? He meet God and he live. But yet the Bible telling nobody can see God and live.
Right.
He said, the Bible tells it, and he said, for I have seen God face to face and my life is preserved. And here we call the place Pioneer.
Pineal gland.
Yeah.
So you understand? So Bethel is a place, but Pioneer is a thing. It is your pineal gland. It is your third eye. It is the eye that you use to travel into the spirit. You understand? But it doesn't have the conversation. Some of the priests don't even know. When somebody there, they go in the cemetery, ashes dust to dust. And then there will be a man come with a bottle 5 o'clock the next evening and capture the soul and now have a ghost to go and do his wicked works, if he's a wicked man. Right? But if he's a good man, he would know how to go into the cemetery and open the portal and call the angels or call the guides, right? And set that soul back into the ether, back to where from when it came. Right? But we don't understand the depth of what we're dealing with. You understand? We read everything literal and feel it's literal. Understand?
We're scared of these conversations.
And we're scared of these conversations. Right? We don't like to read. So there are many books that will teach you a lot of different things about you and about how to do these acts.
You just read them bad books, boy?
You understand? Let me give you a joke. Some years ago, I had some guys who used to live around and so on. I hired them and they're working in Point Lisas. And one day I hear a rumor, boy, that does only be reading one set of bad book. Right? Now these fellas, some of them can't even read. Talking about can't read. I tried to take them somewhere, but some of them couldn't go. Train them, teach them to do it. They could work hard. It's good fellas. But they grew up in an environment where unfortunate, right? Some of them, when I got them involved, I say, buy a copybook and a pen, and I got teach all you to read. Understand? In that time, I had my second son, and he was 5 years old and reading. And these guys still, their biggest ambition was $2 more on the pay and to drink on a Friday. And they walk into my office and see a Bible, a Quran, and a big book with a man face on it. The one side I say, boy, let us be reading once it's a bad book. Right? But if they could read, they see the man face, but if they could read, above the man face mark Webster's dictionary. Understand? Understand? No, and that is a true story. And that reached out to my mother and all. My mother tell me one day, I hear them fellas say this, we really want a bad book. When I get you the story, she start to laugh. Right? And so that's the realities we understand we just live in. As people.
I just want to know
because
well,
the television. Hear the word. Television. It's telling your vision something, but where's your vision? Your vision is yours. Right? Your vision comes from your imagination, the nation of the Magi. The Imagai nation, the spiritual world which you are the creator. Where you is the God. You understand? But when you ever hear them say, boy, I went and watched Lord of the Rings, that movie was real bad. And a man say, boy, the book was way better. Because the demons you create is way better than the ones I create. And the beauty you create is way better than the beauty I create. Because you create things to your image and likeness, just like God. Understand? But when you're in front of the TV every day, whole day, and in the tablet and the right, you ain't creating nothing. You're just watching other people's creation.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have no school that's teach you to create. All of them just teach you to toe the line. Right? Even the universities. To toe the line. Don't make no self-thinkers. You read 1,000 books and all you do is train your memory to remember all this information that somebody else write.
Yeah.
It's only when you reach up to the PhD level and think and say, but this is nonsense when I look at this and I look at that, right? But when you read the PhD levels and so on, you have to learn to meditate. How you feeling, man? That's right, the science are going out into the universe. How you feeling nowadays? You have to learn to go.
True.
You understand? You have to learn to leave this physical world and go.
Yeah.
So the top scientists in the world is meditate. We don't meditate, we don't even do introspection. You reach home tired and you go and sleep. Sometimes you even bathe. Right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to sit down on the ground and make a ground, sit down on your bed, you stand with your foot on the ground and you close your eyes and you walk back through your day. You walk back through the scenarios, you and that one fall out, why all you fall out. You stand see where you was wrong and where you, right? That is what Iwa Pele is. That is what building your character is. So even though you slip and you go on in emotion and you fall out with the man, right? What wrong with coming tomorrow and saying you apologize? Or sorry, you understand? It didn't have to go there. Maybe move one past it, but everybody bigger than everybody else. Right? So you want set of
Egos.
yeah, egos. Big men and big bodies. With little minds. Minds that was developed by society, by
Cool.
the negatives of society.
They done calling for a part 2.
yeah, they don't
You got to
people
bring him
don't-
back, boy.
people don't
2 hours
say,
is not enough.
And bear in mind, like, he's saying 2 hours is not enough. We was an hour before, and I was thinking 2 hours are too much.
Yeah. Matix tell him that. Matix said, nah, brother. He said that 1 hour is nothing.
Yeah.
That will blow past and you wouldn't even realize.
Because it have plenty fellas and plenty and women out here who have the knowledge, and have the information. But again, scared. Everybody's scared of something. Stand, boy, look, assassinate you. Don't say this, don't say that.
Yeah.
Understand? But then you come from somewhere.
Gotta go somewhere.
If you're
go
dead
somewhere.
tomorrow, the day or next week, if you're going somewhere,
Yeah.
if you're clear of that part, then you have to worry about.
A simple thing like this, since I became a Orisha devotee, I realized that I know a few other people who are Orisha devotees longer than me. I don't see them with the
Yeah,
daily
the
case on them. Yeah. Unless you go somewhere, we go a
prayers.
festival or
A
prayers or
prayers.
something. Yeah. But you're in here.
Let me tell you something. You see this here? I initiated with this. Right? This probably come off my hand about 3 times to do other spiritual things. Right? You see it with washing out too? Right?
Again, to me, and this is just my opinion, I leave room to be wrong. But that is part of it, and that is part of your pride. No, how is it we so comfortable when a Caucasian name big on we chest?
Right.
Every way.
And
In
your foot.
hiding to wait.
On your foot.
Your foot, everything. But implements your spirituality. Where a brother could see another brother and heal him, or a sister could see a brother, or a sister could see a sister.
And acknowledge and know.
Knowledge.
So let me tell you why now. What do you mean by is a Orisha devotee?
I practice the ways of the tradition as best as I can.
I just practice football now and then. I have a bad knee. I don't practice much again, but I'm not football devotee. So what do you mean by that Orisha devotee?
Just as I said, I could learn another way to say it right now.
You mean your life being devoted, you understand? To understanding and following the
Orisha, the ways of the Orisha.
You understand? Right? But then you have to understand ways Orisha, right? Because Orisha is a divine spark that exists also within you, right? And it is the energy of our environment and the consciousness of our environment in every form.
Right.
Understand? The wind is conscious, the water is conscious. Understand? The plants is conscious. We just give them names. Names to identify the consciousness as an individual separate from the next.
Right.
Right? But that is what it is. It's the consciousness of every other thing within our environment. Understand? So if we are aware of ourselves, right? A simple exercise is this. You lie in your bed in the night. You ever see the book? You ever see the movie called The Book of Eli?
Yeah.
When you know he was blind.
The end.
The end? Why?
When they realized the Bible that they had was Braille. Yeah.
Right? But he was walking in a hyper trance. You know what is a hyper trance? It's the ability to extend your consciousness. Right? So you could lie in your bed in the night and just close your eye and listen. And if you have air conditioning in your house like this one here, you would hear it blowing.
Yeah.
Right? Then you hear the dogs barking outside.
You hear everything.
Your neighbor dogs, if you're right. Then you would know that the dog's barking at a man or it's barking at another dog. Then you would know that your neighbor back door does squeak. You understand? When
The gate defense, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, all kind of things.
Understand? Further down the road, you know that your neighbor down so does listen our radio station. Understand? And this one is listening to another radio station.
Right?
Because you're expanding your consciousness. As you get up in the morning, you do the same thing, and you hear the birds get up 5 o'clock. Understand? When rain falling, you realize that the frogs have a song.
Yeah.
That they just sing and then they just stop. And they just stop for a minute. And then they just start back to sing the song. Right? And you could go further. You realize that every 24 minutes, when you do so, one of your nostril is take in and exhale more oxygen than the next. Understand?
So as we look to close, right? We always want to close with ideas for solutions. So based on what we asked you to come here to speak about today, give us some ideas on what you think we could do for the betterment of we people.
The main thing is self-introspection.
Right.
Right? And self-awareness. Working on understanding who you are within the environment. And as you get to understand who you are, share your process. Because we all on this journey together. Share your process.
Sure.
It's not about one man better than the next, and I learned this and I do that. I learned this magic. I could do this. I could entrance somebody by signing up across the road and projecting my energy and and making them do something that they wouldn't do ordinary. Because we have all of that, you know.
Right.
Right? But it's not about you being better. Right? It's about uplifting. Because if I rich and you poor, right? The potential of your churn rubbing minds is greater.
Greater, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But if we could share, understand, and go together.
Oh my God.
Understand?
Yeah.
It's not about me alone. It's not about me alone and my house alone. Right? It's about what we could do to build the community, and to build the community we had to learn to share. Share love, share everything that is good.
Sure.
All right. Well, folks, it's 2 p.m. and that marks the end of our show
Today.
We see the comments.
Yeah, we will definitely working back out based on our schedule and
we'll
schedule.
We'll let you all know any comment again.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so everybody, stay up.
Blessings, peace and love.
Peace and love.
Live good. All I say, share, live good.
Live good.
Bring down the power of love, I say. Bring down the power of love. the greatest power. A wind of destruction is blowing over this land. And now the earth is a trembling with man's oppression of man. Now the time come to sit down and rediscover what's life. Show the world the true meaning of real love, power, not strife. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Love to heal a nation. Put a hand on the fire and cleanse the wicked. Right now. All of them who does worship, greed and vanity must bow. Unity is the banner, so come together. I say, and this love is for freedom, it's growing stronger each day. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Love to heal a nation. So rejoice in a rhythm of celebration. Come on. Lift your voice with a feeling of satisfaction as one. And let we move with a purpose, all freedom lovers. Hold tight. Stepping out of the darkness with one direction.